guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liza for those who don't know, and today is going to be a different video. I haven't done any story times on my channel, but I decided to do a story time because why not? So let me know if you guys like it, if you guys want more story times, and I'll go ahead and push those out for you if that's what you really want. So yeah, I know you guys are here because y'all seen the title. So one of the reasons why I decided to do this story is because I was on TikTok and I was scrolling through it, and the story time I came up about this guy saying how one of his homeboys owed a lot of people money and he was lying about having cancer. So then I thought about it like, yo, maybe I should tell the story about the time my best friend lied about having cancer, because who really does that? Like, there are people out here really struggling with this, and y'all really out here lying about cancer. So what I'm gonna do is give you guys a little back story, and I'm how we ended up finding that sis is a liar. Let's get into the story times. Around this time, I'm 18 and I'm fresh into college, and I went to a school where I didn't know anyone from my high school. My group of friends, it was 3 of us, right? So it was like a trio. We're gonna name the girl that the story time's about, we're gonna name her Lynn, right? And the other friend that's not really too much in this story, her name is gonna be Blue. We were like the 3 best of friends. Oh, we were all cute. We were cute, daddy clique. But Lynn is like this big, huge personality. Like when you first meet her, boom, off rip, she's like this big, huge personality, right? So long story short, because it's a long story, me and Lynn end up getting cuffed up that first semester. We end up getting cuffed up or whatever. And Blue's kind of like cuffed up, but not really. She has a man, but she's also kind of like booed up in the school too or whatever. So the reason why I'm saying this is because it's relevant to the story. So all I know is me and Lynn, we were like getting really, really close. But Lynn had other friends. We weren't her only friends. She had other friends all over the place. Lynn was actually like a big time liar. Like, she really used to lie about a lot of stuff. But for whatever reason, she felt like she had to lie about being black or whatever. I feel like she used to lie to people to like bond with them. Before I even get into all the details about sis and how big of a liar she is, if you guys want to know, after I tell you guys the story, if you guys want to know more about sis and the lies that she was telling people and the lies that she was telling me and how she was getting caught in the lies, you let me know and I'll do a separate video on that. But right now we're going to focus on the video that we're focused on today, which is the cancer video. So one day, fast forward, we've been in the school for a time now. We settled in our relationships or whatever, and I remember her telling me about the guy that she was talking to before they were in a relationship. She was telling me about the guy that she was talking to and how he's a good guy and this and that, and I told her to go for it. If you saying that he's a good guy, I believe you, go for it. Then she was kind of telling me a little bit about how he was moving a bit, like he wanted to be with her but he never had a girlfriend before, you know what I'm saying, like those type of guys. So the reason why I say that is to say this. So one day, we're all in relationships now. Blue is not here, it's just me and Lynn. So we're inside the room and we're like drinking. My boyfriend at the time and her boyfriend at the time were sitting there and playing the game or whatever, and me and Lynn are there just drinking. We're drinking. This is my first time ever drinking. In real life, I don't even really drink like that, to be honest with you. So like, I'm drinking, but the little bit that I'm drinking is like getting me tipsy. It's like getting me drunk. So this time Lynn is like really getting drunk. We start getting crazy or whatever, and we're like laughing and joking and ha 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 hee, laughing and just like vibing or whatever. And my boyfriend at the time, Chris, we're gonna name him Chris, and we're gonna name her boyfriend James. So Chris had grabbed me and was like, yo, you acting crazy, you need to stop or whatever, because I was like drunk, so I'm like all over the place, and she's also drunk, and we're kind of like bouncing off each other's energy or whatever. So we're like all over the place, and as we're there, the girl Lynn looks at me and she goes, I'm dying. And I'm like, what you mean you dying? Like the whole drunkenness kind of like was like, what you mean you dying or whatever. She's like, I have cancer. I have cancer. And she looks at her boyfriend and she goes, tell her babe what I have. Tell her babe what I have. So instantly when she tells me what she had, like that she has cancer or whatever, I start crying because I'm a person that has a big heart. I'm a Capricorn, and if you know Caps, we have really big hearts. And when I used to make friends with people, they would become like my sisters. So when she told me that what she had, I instantly started crying. I started crying. And me and her, we're just hugging each other and we're just crying. And I'm like, don't worry, God has you, you're gonna be okay. Like literally we're just crying. So our boyfriends come and they're like grabbing us, and her boyfriend is like, listen, I'm gonna take her upstairs. And I'm like, please watch over her. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, blah blah blah. I'm like crying or whatever. And she's there crying too. Like when I'm telling you crying, I mean like we're bawling to each other, hugging each other, telling each other how much we love each other. And I'm saying how much I don't want anything to happen to her. Like, you know, just like really sad that she has cancer and that she's, you know, dealing with stuff. After we was crying and hugging and our boyfriends had brought us apart, my boyfriend ended up bringing me upstairs. I was crying like OD to him, like crying in his arms. And he's like, don't worry, God got her. She's going to be okay. I sent her a long voicemail and for her to stay prayed up because God's not going to let this happen to her. She's too young and she's too beautiful that she's going to, I kept ensuring her that she's going to be okay, and God was going to take care of everything for her because I wanted her to feel like she was okay because God got her or whatever. Literally, y'all, next morning after that had happened, I ended up seeing her in the hallway, and I was talking to her boyfriend James, and I'm like, yo, James, please watch out for her. He's like, don't worry, I got her. I'm like, please make sure she's okay. Please make sure she's, you know, taking her medicine and doing what she got to do because she's a good person. She doesn't deserve this or whatever. And me and him talking, he's like, nah, she's a champ. She's going to get through this. Like, I'm there like, are you taking your medicine? Maybe you should go home because even though you're here in college, you should go home and take care of that. And she's like, oh, I have to go to chemotherapy. Like, I have to go through this. My mom gave me this, this, and this or whatever. And she was showing me like some regular vitamin pills and some hair growth pills or whatever. And I'm like, where's your medication for, like, you know, what's going on with you? Like, where's your medication for that? And she's like, oh, they don't want to do chemotherapy right now. I'm like, what stage are you in? She's like, it's an early stage. They don't want to do chemotherapy right now because I'm going to do it after the semester's over. So I'm like, oh, you're going to do the chemotherapy after the semester's over? Okay, good or whatever. So I'm there watching her, trying to be her mama, like making sure she's eating the right things, making sure. I'm like, yo, did you take your medicine, the vitamins that your mom gave you, your this, like, da, 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 da. I'm on her because I truly believe that she has this cancer. So we used to, me and Blue, we used to look out for her after we found out what was going on. We used to be like, yo, you know, you could drink but just a little bit because, you know, like everything that's going on with her. She's like, I know, the cancer. She'd be like, you right. You know, the cancer, you right. I can't even be drinking because of the cancer or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. And me and Blue, like, we really got her back. We like, yo, you know, we don't really want you to be out here going crazy because, you know, you got a lot to deal with right now. You don't want to put more harm onto your body, like, especially when you don't need to. And she's like, yeah. So we ended up going to Jersey. When we was in Jersey, I was getting cool with her little sister, her brothers, everybody. Nobody had mentioned anything about her cancer. I didn't see no medication that was there. I didn't see nothing. Like, it was like nothing was going on. And I didn't bring it up because I thought maybe it was like a family secret or something like that. Maybe they was going to talk to her about it. But it was like it never existed. Like, we were the only people that knew about this, like this cancer that she had. So that's kind of what gave me and Blue a suspicion, because we like, why no, we the only ones that care about this cancer? Where's her medication? Where's her this? Where's her that? Because we wanted her to be good because she was like our little sister or whatever. We there like getting drinks. We go to like a little bar or whatever. Her mom looks real young, so we like chilling with her mom and stuff like that. We go to like a little bar, and I'm looking at her mom, and her mom didn't mention nothing about no cancer. Her mom didn't even seem worried about nothing. Never asked her about nothing. And she was there like drinking and stuff like that. And her mom never said nothing. Her mom just told her to chill out on the liquor, like letting her know that she's underage. She was only 17. So her mom was like, hey, like, you know, with the liquor or whatever. And me and Blue, because it wasn't just me that went, Blue went there too. Long story short, me and her ended up having a falling out. Like, it was so much going. If y'all want to hear college stories, I got y'all. But me and her ended up having a falling out due to me trying to help her, and we didn't talk for the rest of the semester. Like half of the semester, we had stopped talking or whatever. And me and Blue became joined by the hip, and we continued to do our own thing. And then she went on with her boyfriend and some other girl. So I would really be hanging out with my boyfriend. I was with my boyfriend, my roommate Blue. Like we were doing our own thing or whatever. I kind of just let her be because I really don't have time to be chasing people down. So friends, second semester comes, we start being friends again, right? She comes in second semester, me and her end up talking again, because the reason why we stopped being friends is because I ended up getting into a lot of problems trying to protect this girl, because she was coming to us with her drama, running to us for help, and then when we would try to help her, she'll flip the script and have the whole school hating us. So I was just trying to help her, you know, but a lot of rumors and my name ended up getting in the mix. And you know how girls do, they get you in the mix and they just leave you flat. You know how females do. For real, mind your business. Second semester rolls around, we end up uniting again. We told her to come to the room. We did having a good time. All the old memories from the first semester was coming back. We was there laughing and joking and laughing and joking and laughing and joking. So while we all get ready to go to a party, I tell my friend, like, yo, whatever happened to the cancer? Like, yo, what happened to it? She's like, I'm like, did you ever end up doing the chemotherapy? And she's like, yeah, I did it when I went home. And I'm like, but you don't look like nothing is wrong. Because I'm telling you, sis is a thick girl. She's not a skinny girl. Like, sis is thick. Not like big boned it. Like, I'm talking about literally thick. Like, her thighs and everything was thick. Like, she didn't look like she went through no chemotherapy, no nothing. Like, she looked like she been solid this whole time, and her hair is even thicker and longer. So I'm like, how did that go with the chemotherapy and stuff? She's like, yeah. I was like, so where was the cancer? You know, asking her stuff about the cancer, trying to make sure she's good or whatever. She's like, oh, the cancer was on one of my lungs, but they shaved it off. So I look at her like, wait, so they shaved off, how can they shave off one of your lungs? Like, she's like, no, it was on the tip of the lung, and then they shaved that, like they cut that part off, so I'm good now. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, she's lying. And the reason why I know she's lying, because I already knew she was a liar from that first semester. Like, in my head, I'm like, she's lying. And I'm like, where's your surgical, like, where's your surgery, you know, like, where's the scarring? Where did they go in or whatever? Like, where did they go in? She shows me, I forgot where she said that they went in. I don't even remember how she said that they ended up going in to shave her lung. Because there's no incision or anything nowhere around her neck where there would be an incision of them going into the lung and shaving the cancer off. So I'm like, something don't sound right. I leave it alone though, because it's not my business. Time goes on, we getting ready to go to another party. And I see she got a scar on like her stomach or whatever. So I was like, oh, what happened to you there? Like, because I have one on my leg. So I was like, oh, you have the same one as me. We have matching ones. And I was like, oh, and I told her what happened to my scar. And she told me, I was like, what happened to your scar? And she was like, oh, that's where the cancer was. But I said, wait, the cancer was here? And she's like, yeah, that's where the cancer was, like where they cut me open to get the cancer. Mind you guys, this does not look like a surgery scar. It looks like one of those scars, like, you know how you get sliced and you never go to the hospital, so it kind of like gets that rubbery skin over it, because it never got stitched up and it needed stitches. But that's the type of scar we're talking about. So in my brain, I'm like, girl, they would not let you walk out with that freaking scar without stitching it up so that you can be fucking healed, like, or heal better. Like, that's a lie. Like, it's such a lie. I'm like, so I was like, wait, I thought you said that it was in your lung. She was like, yeah, that's where they took a tube, you know, they put a tube in there and they just went to the lung and they. So I'm like, they took a tube. All right, so let me show y'all where the scar was right here, right? So she's telling me that they took a tube. Instead of cutting here on her neck, they decided to cut here and go all the way up somehow and shave off the cancer from her freaking lung. Like, that literally doesn't sound right. So now me and Blue know how much of a liar she is. Like, she literally lies for fun. Like, I'm telling you, this girl lied about being half black. That's how much she lies for fun. Like, just to be likable, she lies for fun. And lied and said that her mother doesn't speak Spanish like that. Mind you, her mother don't speak no English. Like, but anyways, just to fit in. She does things just to fit in. I call Blue and I'm like, yo, Blue, tell me if this shit makes sense. Blue's like, she's lying, bro. She's lying. I'm like, she's lying, right? She's like, yeah, she's lying. Like, there's no way you could freaking cut somebody somewhere in their stomach and then put a tube in for them to cut the thing. Why wouldn't they just go here to make it easier for them? Right. I just kind of stopped asking about the cancer because I knew that she was lying. And even when I would ask her about it, she would just look like she didn't even know what to say. Like, she was like she forgot about the lie and had to think quick. You know what I'm saying? You know those people that be lying like that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, like, she was looking like she was lying on her feet and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me take the stress of says back. You ain't even got the lie no more because I don't care. Now I know that you're lying, I never ask again on this. Fast forward all the way until now we're all not in this school anymore. Me and Blue ain't friends no more. Me and Lynn, we ain't friends no more. Like, we completely left the school. So many things happened with that school. If you guys go to story time on that school alone, I got you. Like, so, yeah, I'm not even going to that school no more. I ended up transferring to a new college and I was going over there to a new school or whatever. So, me and James, which is Lynn's boyfriend, we ended up seeing each other at a party and we was like, oh shoot, James, oh Liza, da, 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 da. We exchanged numbers or whatever. Yeah, so we ended up talking a little bit, like talking about the old times and stuff like that and the time that we was in that school or whatever. So one day he brings up to me like, yo, remember when Lynn told you that she had cancer? And I'm like, yeah, because it was so long ago and she was such a liar that I kind of just like forgot about it. So he's like, yo, remember when Lynn told you that she had cancer? And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember, yo, how is she? Like, how is she doing? Because he's like, you know, I think she lying. And I'm like, what? You lying? I'm like, you lying? What makes you think that she's lying? Why would you think that? Mind you, I know that she's lying, but I'm like, what makes you think that she's lying? He like, nah, I really think that she's lying. I think that she made that whole thing up so that me and her could be together. And I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, oh, because I was telling her how I didn't want to be in a relationship around the time when I got together. He was saying how he was telling her how he didn't want nothing serious and he didn't want to be in like a serious relationship. And then she comes up telling him like about how she has cancer. So he was like that her having cancer kind of like made him fall in love with her because it was like in his brain this person has this terminal illness that she could possibly not be here anymore. And it kind of made him, this is his words, he said it kind of made like his heart warm up and he ended up falling in love with her and they ended up being in a relationship. So I'm like, oh, so now it's clicking in my brain because remember I told you that we had all got in relationships around like the same time or whatever. So it kind of made sense to me what he was saying. He was like some player type guy in school because he was like in there before us. We were freshmen, so he was a sophomore or whatever. So yeah, so I guess he was like some player type guy or whatever. And he was saying like how she said that, and that's kind of what made them get the relationship started because he kind of felt like he wanted to be there for her and stuff like that. So I had asked him like, okay, that's cool, but what makes you think that she's lying? He's like, because every time I try to break up with her, she be like, the cancer's coming back. I need you. The cancer's coming back. He's like, every time we good, she never mentioned that cancer stuff. But every time we bad, she started mentioning the cancer stuff. And he was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I've been to her house 9 times and nobody has ever mentioned the cancer thing. She's the only one saying that she got cancer. He never heard nobody say that she got cancer. And he knows more than I do because he was in that family. They were together for a while or whatever. So of course I already know that the chick was lying anyways. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I never mentioned how I knew how she was lying. I never even told him what I knew, like my side of the story about why I think she's lying too. I just kind of left it at what he said. I was like, damn, but don't say that, like, still being like, but don't say that, blah, 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 blah. I was lying about that because she literally only told me and other people. Yeah, people were like, cancer, what are you talking about? She told you that? She told you that? Like, and I'm like, nah, she didn't tell me that. Mind you, I'm asking them to see if she told them that. But she was telling them other stories, like other different stories. So that's it, y'all. That's like the story about how the girl how the girl pretended like she had cancer to get this guy to be with her. Like, she wanted a relationship. He wasn't trying to give it to her, so she lied and said she had cancer. Like, why? For him? I don't know who. I don't care what guy you are. I'm not lying about no damn cancer. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that about wraps up the whole thing. The girl was lying about having cancer to be with her man, to keep her man. She didn't want to lose her man. She wanted to be with him. He was ready to be in a relationship, so she forced it on his ass. So men out there, girls be lying. Like, do your research. Start asking if she got cancer right in front of her mom. See what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like don't just be getting out here. Don't just be out here getting got. And when I say women, I mean when I say men, I mean women too. People be lying. Lying. Alright, y'all. So like, comment, subscribe if you guys like this. If you guys want me to do more story times, I don't really do story times on here. But if you guys want me to do more story times, I can definitely do that. Yeah, so just tell me what you want. So yeah. So let me know if you guys want to see more story times in the future. Bye.